Everyone says that you are a fake, but I believe in you. I don't know if I got that line dead on perfect or not. Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. This time I'm coming at you to do a review of the music from the soundtrack. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, by Vince Guaraldi. This particular CD is copyrighted 2019. I did some looking online, and on Amazon it says it came out last year, so I'm not exactly sure when this came out for the very first time. This is the first time I'd ever seen it in stores. I found this at Target, and when I saw this within the last week, I'm like, oh my God! This cartoon special, along with what's the Christmas one? Charlie Brown Christmas are obviously, cartoons that I grew up with, and probably two of the most important cartoon specials to me, the Christmas one and this one, It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I grew up with them, and just even at my advanced age now, I just absolutely love this stuff. And for me, the music was a huge part of both of these specials. I obviously have several CDs of the Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, Vince Guaraldi album. To me, that's like one of the all-time, I'm not a fan of Christmas in terms of religious implications or even consumerism or all that crap, but I do like some of the tunes and stuff like that. I guess I'm guilty in those counts of liking some of the Christmas tunes and stuff, and I think that the Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack CD is just oh my gosh, jazz renditions of jazzy-ish renditions of those Christmas tunes are just beyond classic. And although the music for this isn't quite as important or special to me as the music for the Christmas special, I always did like the music in this as well. And when I saw this at Target, I did double, triple, quadruple take. I'm like, holy crap! I just assumed that this would be, a kind of a presentation of the soundtrack much in the way the soundtrack is so wonderfully presented of the Christmas special on that CD, which is off the original recording tapes and stereo and all this and that. So one thing I really wanted to make this video about is I should have done a little research. I probably would have wanted it anyway. I probably should have done a little research online. Basically, this thing is a huge disappointment and more or less a kind of a money grab. Basically, from what I understand from a little bit of research that I did, is unlike with the Charlie Brown Christmas special, apparently from what's said online, and from what I could dig up online, the music, recording tapes or the actual master tapes or any recording sessions for this particular cartoon, holiday special thing are lost or no longer able to be found, which is probably the same thing as lost. But at any rate, they're not available. So basically, to make this CD, they basically just took the music and effects track from the cartoon and just used that. And so as a result, you're getting, I don't think it's necessarily all of the effects, but a good amount of the effects, that take place during these scenes. So you'll be getting for instance, the Linus and Lucy track 1. It's and you can hear some of the sounds of the pumpkin hitting the fence trying to go through the hole in it, and just I think maybe when he slams the pumpkin down, boom, just some of the sound effects that happen during the actual cartoon are in this music CD. And another thing I should say, that since they couldn't find the original studio tapes from the recording of the music sessions, that along with the crappy sound effects, it's just mono. Obviously the cartoon special was mono, was recorded and mixed and mastered and released in mono because it was for TV in the 60s or whatever. So another big problem of this CD is that unlike the beautifully rendition stereo version of the Charlie Brown Christmas album, this, along with the goofy ass sound effects during the music, is just mono. I don't have as big a problem with the mono aspect as I do with just the fact that you're listening to this beautiful music and then you hear just these sound effects, which one reviewer on Amazon said they kind of like it, and to each their own. I'm not going to say they shouldn't. If they enjoy the sound effects being also included in this CD, that's more power to them. I wish I could. But you know, when you're buying a CD to hear the music, I'm buying it to hear the music and not the sound effects. If I want to hear the sound effects, I'll watch the cartoon. So that's pretty much probably my review of you know, this. It's like 27 minutes long. Of course, so many people have said on Amazon in reviews as well, like if you're going to have a cartoon that's under 30 minutes long, the soundtrack isn't going to be, you know, a huge epic soundtrack. I don't have a problem with the length of it either. Because as you know, just like with see, the thing about the Christmas CD is, especially like the newly, you know, the most recent version, there's different takes and different, you know, different takes and stuff on that Charlie Brown Christmas CD that weren't heard in the cartoon. Whereas this, I don't think anything, I mean, pretty much you're not hearing anything that's not in the cartoon, because they basically took this from the music and effects track, you know, from the cartoon. So what can I say? Kind of a major disappointment. I felt a little, you know, I felt a little ripped off, I must admit. And in a perfect world, they would have had a sticker on the outside of the shrink wrap that, you know, kind of indicated the deal, you know, like it's just like, or on the back or somewhere that indicated that unfortunately the original recordings are no longer available. This is the best version of, you know, this is the only version of what can be done now, and it's going to include you know, the sound effects. I probably wouldn't have bought it if it had. You see, that's probably why they didn't put that sticker on there, because I think a lot of people wouldn't have bought it if it had that sticker on there. But one, you know, saving grace I will say about this release is there's probably my favorite piece of music on this whole thing is the Great Pumpkin Waltz, which is reprised like I don't know how many times on here. I don't know, at least 2 times. But the Great Pumpkin Waltz is when he's like, Linus is riding to the Great Pumpkin, and I was very, very glad to see, or to hear rather, that when I listened to that on here, it's like track 4, there's absolutely, it's nothing but music. So like, there's no like Snoopy laughing, which I was worried about, because Snoopy laughs when he's, during this piece of music, when he's writing the letter. And I think, yeah, and even he laughs over to someone watching TV, like Lucy or something, or someone, and you know, she grabs him and throws him out of the shot. So it's like whoop. I think there's a sound effect there. So for some reason, that whole track of number 4, the Great Pumpkin Waltz, is actually sound effect free, which I'm very grateful for. That fact alone to me is worth the price of this CD, because I really love that piece of music, and luckily that piece of music is you know, featured on the CD and without any goofy ass sound effects. But a lot of the stuff, you know, a lot of the music on this CD features sound effects. And one thing that another reviewer on Amazon noted is there's even just bits and pieces where the, you know, the music will start and it'll just go for what seems like 5 seconds, and it'll fade out because it's like a commercial, and there's just some stuff on here that's just handled in such a shoddy, crappy fashion that at the end of the day, although the, you know, the one saving grace is track 4, the, you know, the presentation of the Great Pumpkin Waltz without any goofy ass sound effects, on the whole this thing's a complete money grab ripoff. And, you know, it's just kind of shameful, to be honest, that they were allowed to do this without indicating to the purchaser that what it is, what you're in for. You know, like I said, if they had indicated that on the package, it probably wouldn't have sold nearly as many as they did. I do like the artwork, incidentally, front and back. You know, really, really captures. It's basically just, you know, screen grabs from the cartoon, captures the cartoon really well. It's one of these paper things, so you've got the, you know, CD like that, and the CD's orange. Taking the CD out, we just basically have pumpkin patch or whatever. And this, as I think I already mentioned, I did get this at Target, and it had a sticker on there saying a Target exclusive. Well, the Target exclusive on here, oh, there's a booklet in there, and I don't think anywhere in the booklet it even mentions, you know, any of the debacle about, you know, the source of the, and the reason why it's got sound effects and all that crap. Even in the booklet, I don't think they mentioned it. Don't quote me, although I didn't read the whole thing. This is like a Target exclusive. It's like a plastic trick-or-treat bag that's folded up in the little CD, and this is kind of a cool keepsake. Obviously I'm not going to use it when I go trick-or-treating, just kidding, I'm not going to go trick-or-treating, but even if I was a kid and was so inclined to go trick-or-treating, even at my young age of whatever age I'd be, if I was still trick-or-treating, I probably wouldn't want to use this because I wouldn't want to ruin it, because it's kind of a cool, you know, keepsake collector's thing. But this is the Target exclusive thing that's featured folded up inside the CD. So that'll be my review. Probably went on, as so many times often is the case, probably went on a little longer than I intended, but when crappy products come out, the truth must be said about the products. And I'm not going to just bow down before a product that's just, in my opinion, just kind of a money grab, cheap ploy by what's the name of these people? Under license to Craft Recordings, a division of Concord Music Group. Was that like Roger Corman outfit? I wouldn't even be surprised. So at the end of the day, when all's said and done, it is a kind of a cheap money grab, kind of a fraudulent piece of work. So it does. Luckily this doesn't happen to me very often where I feel cheated in a purchase. It does make one feel just kind of cheated, because they expect one thing and they don't get what they expect. And obviously with a music CD, you can't exactly return it for a refund. So, but as I said, just that one track, the Great Pumpkin Waltz or whatever, being included without, in its beautiful entirety, without any goofy ass sound effects, is kind of the saving grace about this release. And to be honest, the artwork is really pretty and colorful and invokes the spirit of the cartoon special as well. So thank you very much for watching my review of this absolutely money grab, fraudulent piece of, compact disc release. And as always, we'll catch you on the next video.